In all the madness of the last 2 to 3 months, I have found some measure of normality and nostalgia by loading up Football Manager. I haven't really played Football Manager, as in at least completing a full season, probably since the 2016 edition of the game, although I always buy it every year, in the vain hope that I might find some time to load it up at some stage, and also because it can be quite a useful resource for running this channel. I have to say though, what a game. I randomly decided to go as Bristol City, as a fairly wealthy potential sleeping giant with a few quid to spend and a decent academy, and it has been a roaring success. Promotion came in the first season, avoiding the playoffs on the final day of the season, to finish as runners-up to Fulham, and in my second season, not only did we win the Carabao Cup, we also finished 6th in the Premier League. I'm now coming to the back end of my third season in charge at Ashton Gate, praying for a top 4 finish that's going to be very tough, and still in both the FA Cup and the very first season of what SI call the Euro Cup 2, and what UEFA will actually call the UEFA Europa Conference League. So, if you're wondering why the videos on this channel have been so dreadful of late, it's because I'm engrossed in my Football Manager save, and desperately trying to play about an hour of it every night, but I'll come back to my Bristol City Odyssey later on. Anyhow, as I'm living and breathing FM obsession at the minute, I thought I should make a video about the game. A couple of years back, I made a video taking a look at some random FM wonder kids from over the years, and where they are now. But today, I wanted to take a look at a handful of FM legends who really didn't make it, so to speak. Now, make it or made it means different things to different people. My idea of having made it was when someone first commented first on one of my videos, so who am I to judge? But in the context of this video, I just mean all these players fell way short of the heights SI expected them to reach. Here are 7 Football Manager legends who never made it. Moses Ashikodi. If you were loading up Championship Manager 2003-04, you could do a lot worse than picking First Division side Millwall for your first save. In addition to the talented Aussie Tim Cahill and his notoriously aggressive compatriot Kevin Muscat, the second-tier Londoners had 2 of the finest young prospects on the game. One of them, Cherno Samba, is perhaps the greatest Championship Manager wonder kid there ever was, but I excluded him from this 7 since it felt almost too well known, and borderline cliche. Samba had a less remembered but potentially just as lethal teammate by the name of Moses Ashikodi though, who there were high hopes for in real life at the time. Ashikodi made his Football League debut aged 15 years and 240 days, making him the youngest Football League debutant since 1988, and here he is pictured alongside England manager Sven-Göran Eriksson in 2003. In the game, Ashikodi's life was one of 30-goal seasons, £100,000 a week contracts, and Ballon d'Ors. In real life, Ashikodi left Millwall after threatening a teammate with a knife in 2004. He has only scored 3 league goals at the age of 32, and he has now become one of the biggest journeymen in the history of the beautiful game. Ashikodi now plays for VCD Athletic in English football's 8th tier, having previously played for South Park. No, not that one. NICOLAS MILLAN. I must apologise for the lack of images of a number of players in this video in our database, although it's sort of the nature of a video about players who didn't make it, that they don't play in games that Getty Images regularly send photographers to. Whilst I don't have any images of Millan, I do have an image of just how good he could become on Football Manager, in case you were in any doubts regarding his supposed talents. As you can see, Millan, playing for Arsenal here, went on to become as lethal in front of goal as Newcastle's new owner is with political dissidents. 20 finishing, 20 long shots, and 20 heading is just unheard of, and for context, there isn't a single player on FM20 with those attributes, Cristiano Ronaldo coming closest with 19 for each. That is somewhat fitting, since Millan was once dubbed the Chilean Cristiano Ronaldo, a comparison Millan himself welcomed, stating, "I think my playing style is similar to his. I enjoy using the flanks and going past defenders, and I'm particularly good at stepovers." For a man who FM07 felt would become deadlier in goal than Cristiano Ronaldo, Millan's output at the age of 28 is a little underwhelming. Uncapped by Chile at senior level, Millan left Colo-Colo in 2012, and he now plays for San Marcos in the second tier of Chilean football. BOGDAN STANCU. It's been a while since Romania have had a genuine blockbuster player a la Gheorghe Hagi, although Gheorghe's son Ioannis has pretty decent potential on FM20. Ioannis' potential of 145 out of 200 is a long way short of BOGDAN STANCU on the 2008 version of the game though, when he, along with the likes of Kurlon and Alexander Pato, was programmed to become a future legend of the world game. STANCU's remarkable potential was presumably a result of his impressive displays for Romania's under-21s, since he had only scored a handful of goals in Romania's top flight at that time. Now, I actually feel slightly guilty about including STANCU in this 7, since he had a wildly better career than anyone else that I've included. The 32-year-old has turned out for some big clubs like Steaua Bucharest and Galatasaray, winning 52 caps prior to 2017, and he signed for Turkish Super League New Boys Gençlerbirliği last summer. So STANCU is undoubtedly the best of a badly underachieving bunch by FM standards, and to say a man with over 50 caps didn't make it is tricky for me. But certainly, he has achieved nothing like FM07 had him lined up to do, and the size of that disparity between his FM fate and his real-life achievements is still large enough for me to just about include his fantastic name. Sherman Cárdenas. Unlike with some of the players in this 7, one can sympathise with Football Manager for rating Sherman Cárdenas so highly on FM07, and hopefully you can forgive Getty too for not having any images of the Colombian in their database. Instead, here's a little look at Cárdenas' stats as a 17-year-old on the game, including 17 long shots, 15 passing, and even 16 long throws. With those starting stats, you can imagine how good Cárdenas became, and here's a look at him at Manchester United, still aged only 18, with 18 crossing, 19 long shots, and 19 technique. Cárdenas' lofty potential was the result of an incredible youth career, including 14 goals from just 11 appearances for Colombia's under-17s, and 7 goals from 16 appearances for Colombia's under-20s. Cárdenas, who is now aged 30, never went on to win a senior cap for Los Cafeteros. He has spent most of his career in Colombia's top flight though, and did recently sign for Atletico Junior, but here is an example of what this one-time FM legend stats look like on a more recent version of the game. IBRAHIMA BAKAYOKO. As with BOGDAN STANCU, it seems a little wrong to say that IBRAHIMA BAKAYOKO never made it, so to speak, but it's nice to have some players in this 7 that we actually have images of. Bakayoko's stardom takes us all the way back to the 1997-98 version of the game, one that I am too young to have played myself, although I am reliably informed of Bakayoko's talents on the game. Bakayoko was starring for Montpellier in Ligue 1 back in 1997, aged 20, and he was averaging a goal every 3 games. As soon as you loaded up Championship Manager 97-98, Bakayoko already had attacking stats in the high teens. With 20 for influence, even Ian Dowie could turn Bakayoko into a world beater, and by the time he hit his prime, the Ivorian was the best player in the world. Famously, in the real world, Bakayoko joined Everton for £4.5 million in 1998, with rumours that the Toffees had signed him in part due to his Championship Manager potential. Bakayoko struggled in his only season at Liverpool, returning to France with Marseille, and he went on to have very brief stints with Osasuna, Livorno, Pauca, and many more, and he won the last of his 40 caps for Ivory Coast, aged only 25. Tonton Zola Moukoko. There is a theory out there that Football Manager and Championship Manager like to give players with brilliant names outrageous potential, and the likes of Moses Ashikodi, BOGDAN STANCU, and Tonton Zola Moukoko would back up that hypothesis. Again, we have no actual images of Moukoko in our database, which is a shame for a man who has been described as the greatest player in the history of the Football Manager franchise. A central midfielder with a sensational work rate, who was a wizard on the ball and capable of hitting 30 goals in a season, if you signed Moukoko on Championship Manager 2000 to 2001, you couldn't go too far wrong. Born in modern-day DR Congo, then known as Zaire, Moukoko moved to Sweden aged only 10 after he lost both of his parents. A promising young footballer, he attracted the attention of Bologna, Empoli and AC Milan, but chose to join Premier League side Derby County instead. Moukoko impressed for the Rams reserves, but when he was on the verge of a first-team breakthrough, he was struck down with the news that his brother had died in Zaire. Moukoko lost his passion for football and never made his first-team debut for Derby, spending just a handful of seasons back in Sweden and Finland. Aged 36, he now apparently serves as owner-manager of his own club that he founded in Sweden called Congo United FC. Tó Madeira. To some, the greatest Championship Manager or Football Manager legend of them all, Tó Madeira could be signed for less than £500,000 and had the potential to become the best player in the world. Now, we have no images of Madeira, and that is because he didn't actually exist. The creator of Championship Manager included Madeira on the 2001-02 edition of the game as a so-called cheap player, and Madeira wasn't the first of his kind, with the phenomenon beginning on the original game in 1993. A look at Madeira's stats aged 22, 23 and finally at 28 tell you all you need to know about his remarkable, albeit entirely fictional potential, and this image suggests that he once scored 67 goals in 35 games in a single season for Millwall, which I think is enough criteria alone to be considered the greatest footballer to have ever lived. So there you have it, the ultimate FM legend perhaps wasn't even real. That's it for today's 7, but before I leave you, I did say I'd return briefly to my current save with Bristol City, and I just want to bring to your attention a region by the name of Facundo Monzon. I only signed Monzon from Boca Juniors for £4.7 million last month, but as you can see, the lad has the potential to be the best player on earth. Bizarrely, to me at least, Monzon is a natural at both centre-back and on the left wing. As I've said, I haven't played FM religiously since the 2016 version of the game at the most recent, so I'm not sure if this is now a common occurrence, but it's the first time I've seen it. So let me know in the comments, is Monzon a 1 in a million, or is this nothing to write home about? Thank you all for watching, smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, and the enthralling updates on my FM success at Ashton Gate, and as always, make sure that you are subscribed to the one and only HITC Sevens.